CweCwe has been harmed, but how many CweCwes are going to be there until we finally stand up?
Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome to my channel. How have you all been? Hope you guys are doing great. So previously I posted a video of a mother who came online to talk about what happened and how our 7 years old daughter at the time of the incident was raped by someone in her school, and how she found out she was raped and now she's finally justice. And now here's the part two and a little bit of update on the story. So apparently the principal is not being cooperative, the police is not doing anything, and I got to find out that the principal of the school is a white South African, and the police are not really taking evidence, nobody's pushing anything, and that is why the mother came online to share the story. So if you haven't seen that part one, please, I will urge you to go check it out so that you understand why people are so angry and what people are speaking about. I'll link it down in the description box so you can click on it and go watch the mother tell the story, and then you can come back and join in the conversation on this part. So this is the part two, and we're going to see people, especially South Africans, really share their thought on this story and how they feel about the story and what should be done about the story. But to see that there's a lot of development coming out talking about how the entire story has been disregarded, and the thing is only getting media attention now because the mom brought it to social media. She went on a podcast. That's the only reason it's getting attention, and the principal is white. For me, it is just wild that a 7 years old child that went to school, which is supposed to be the safest place for this child, and it was grave, and yet nobody in authority is doing anything. The principal didn't report the incident. The principal don't want to submit samples for DNA comparison because DNA was collected from the child. It's really wild. Anyway, guys, let's go check out people's response to it, and then we'll come back and talk more.
Here are a few things people say when a victim comes forward with their story. She didn't speak up when it happened. Why didn't the family notice? Why didn't the mother notice? Where was she? Should have said something sooner. Why is she only speaking now? That's what people say, like silence is the problem. In October 2024, a 7-year-old girl named CweCwe did speak up. She was assaulted while waiting for transport on school grounds. The next day, her mother noticed something wasn't right. She paid attention. She saw the signs. She asked questions. She didn't dismiss her child. And her daughter felt safe enough to tell her what had happened. She immediately took her child to the hospital, and a medical exam confirmed the assault. And this was reported to the school and the police. They did everything society claims to expect from a victim. And still, nothing was done. The school didn't report the incident. Collection of evidence was delayed. DNA samples were only collected 5 months later when the story went public. And the school principal is refusing DNA testing. So again, please tell me what women and children are supposed to do. They followed the exact path society demands and they were ignored. This isn't about silence. This is about the way the system treats survivors even when they speak up. This is about who is protected and who is left behind. Please sign the petition that is in my link tree. Let's get justice for CweCwe.
We are going to fight for CweCwe and all the CweCwes that cannot speak for themselves. Did you know that there are over 16,000 teachers that are currently operating and teaching in schools in South Africa? These are teachers that are teaching your children, that are teaching your nieces, your nephews, your neighbors, and every other child you can think of. 16,000 teachers are allowed in South Africa by the Department of Education to teach in South Africa while they have criminal records.
What?
CweCwe has been harmed, but how many CweCwes are going to be there until we finally stand up? So here's what we are going to do as a course of action. Okay. We are going to Google the email address of the regional or national or provincial Department of Education in your area, and we are going to ask them, how are they allowing 16,000 teachers that currently have criminal records to operate in schools? Because if they were able to close that school by saying that the school is closed because it failed to provide a safe environment for children, that means the department in itself are failing because they are allowing 16,000 teachers who have criminal records to teach our children, giving 16,000 opportunities every single day for our children to be another CweCwe. Justice for CweCwe. but justice for every other child that has not been able to speak up. As a matter of fact, let's tell the Department of Education in those emails the stories of all the young girls and boys that we know of, that we saw, that we experienced whilst we were in school. Whether you were in school in 1920 or in school last year, it does not matter. Send that email in your mother tongue. No time for English. This is not the time for you to try and gather the English. Leave the English alone. Write that email in isiZulu, in Xhosa, in Afrikaans, in every other language that you want to write it to. On Monday, let them wake up and let them realize our frustration. Teachers are literally using schools as a playground for them to date younger and younger every single year and impregnate children and treat our children, our sisters, our nephews, our nieces as a dating pool instead of them being taught. But also the department needs to hold themselves accountable because they don't do criminal checks. Because if they did, how the 16,000 teachers get into the system? How many times do they do those criminal checks? Are they a quarterly thing? Are they an annual thing? And also, what psychoanalysis are these teachers? I need whatever anger you are feeling, whatever pain you are feeling, to take it, put it in an email, send it today. We are not going to have another CweCwe while we exist. Ne? Let's do that.
If it was a black man that refuses to provide samples to the police in order for us to find the predator that assaulted a 7-year-old girl, that black man would be arrested by now. And then every forum defending and protecting a man that is obstructing justice. Then we have content creators and public figures acting as if it's business as usual. There are a lot of content creators I've seen come out about this, but the ones that were screaming at the top of the roof, talking about vote CweCwe, vote CweCwe. Silence. Silence. Some of these content creators are people that I know. I see you. I know who you are now. I know who you are now. And vibe. But anyway, I see Kolapa, guys. If Wena is a content creator, it's okay in your conscience that you're just going about business as usual. That's on you. That's on you, my babe. Please make sure to sign the petition, guys, so we can get this man samples. I have put the petition inside my bio, so you just click the link on my bio and it takes you directly to the petition. You sign it and you need to make sure that you confirm your signature with your email. If you don't go to your email and confirm the signature, it will not be registered as a valid signature.
Now the real question is, do you still think women are the problem? Now the real question is, do you think me, I'm short, I'm doing it to attract men? Do you still think men have the right to touch me uncomfortably because I'm comfortable in my own skin? If such a cruel action can be done to Mtanuna 7 years, who's wearing a full school uniform? Siyafundiswa, you need to wear like this in order for men to respect you. You need to wear like that in order for men to listen to you. In order for men to approach you in a proper manner, you need to wear like this. But who teaches this man how to be men? Who teaches this man? It's for her own body. It's not for you to take advantage of her. Who teaches this man how to speak to women? Who teaches this man not to take advantage of Who teaches this man how to have sexual control? A whole definition of respect is determined by men. A whole definition of respect is determined by so when you determine who are you? Who teaches this man how to be men? Who teaches this man when to stop, where to start, what are the limitations? Siyafundiswa. Hayi shem nisphethe zabantu besifazane. As late I nisphethe shem, especially the society. But who teaches this man how to be men? Justice for loya mntana. Justice for loya mntana oye esikoleni ukuyofunda but wathathelwe advantage. You better sign that petition. I-link iyatrenda wherever kuma comments uzoyithola. Justice for loya mntana. Please.
Maybe we should blame CweCwe's mom. Maybe we're looking too far. You know? Maybe that woman didn't teach her daughter manners. There's something that CweCwe must have done, because how dare anybody come out of nowhere and do such a despicable thing to a 7-year-old? A 7-year-old, because there's no way. There has to be a reason. And I'm saying, come here, let's discuss it. Let's dissect this thing as if that reason is going to justify what happened. And y'all are always there. I want to take that information, teach it to my child so that my child knows exactly what to do and what not to do so that such a thing doesn't happen to her. Izani, guys.
No one deserves their spirit and their dignity to be taken through the form of which CweCwe's was taken. Nobody. And it happens continuously because even the system is designed to take from people so that those people can be rehabilitated. There is no rehabilitation for the monstrosity. Buloyi. Mukateng for 5. Mukateng for 5. That's it. We want to see that change. Justice for CweCwe. We want to see justice. Not to just lock him away. No. Mukateng for 5. Take the same dignity that they took from somebody else. Forcefully so. Exercising their power. This thing is happening in families where the family will keep quiet because of the power that somebody has over them. Where it even happens at people's jobs. But they can't afford to lose those jobs because they got families to feed. But cutting the 4-5. And then the gents in prison will handle the rest. Mukateng.
None of this is normal. It's not normal to be signing petitions every week. And it's not normal to sign a petition for a 7-year-old who's been in a place where she was meant to be safe. It is not normal. It's not normal for a mom to have to go onto a podcast to tell us what happened to her daughter because she hasn't gotten justice yet. That is not normal. It's not normal for her to still be seeking justice for something that happened in October last year. That's also not normal. And I want to urge us not to become desensitized to the things that happen because they happen so often in our country. Just because they happen so often in our country does not mean that it is normal. Because petitions are sent out every day does not mean that that is normal. I sat last night with a very heavy heart because I was scrolling. And you scroll once and it's somebody asking you to sign a petition for CweCwe. And then you scroll and it's someone dancing or it's a skit or like, you know how the algorithm works. And if we're not careful, it is so easy to be desensitized to the things that we see. And I just want to urge you to please sign the petition and do not allow yourself to become desensitized to what is happening. It is not normal.
Gender-based violence in South Africa is an infectious disease, and we realize how potent this infection is when it hits children. Justice for CweCwe is not some small story, it's a massive story. Black and brown children are very rarely believed in instances like this. And then to have the principal and our police force do absolutely nothing to make sure that this girl's rapist is in custody is insane. To have parents begging for you to care about the fact that their child was violated on school grounds, the place where a lot of parents send their kids, the one place in South Africa where a lot of parents send their kids hoping that they will be safe. A young girl is raped and nobody is doing anything. That's not okay, and it will never be okay. I'm praying for her family. I'm praying for her. Something like this should never have happened in the first place. And if you read the story, it's disgusting. There's actually no better word for it. It is disgusting. It is vile. No child should have to go through that. And once we hear and know that a child has gone through that, once we've gone to doctors and doctors are able to corroborate the story that this is the physical result of a violation on a child, there should be no questions. This is a child. I'm speaking about this and speaking up about this. It's not just to, be a part of a trend. It's to make sure that us as South Africans are not desensitized to these stories, that we all understand, because realistically, gender-based violence, as I said, in South Africa, is a rampant disease. We hear these stories far too much, but it is not enough to just hear them. We have to do more. We have to speak up about it. We have to hold our Justice Department and our government responsible for making sure that these violent criminals are put away forever. And not only that, that justice will be served when it needs to be served in the right type of manners, and that we are teaching young men and even older men that they have no right to violate women's bodies. You don't have, it's not for you.
If your first reaction to hearing that a little girl was raped is to worry about false accusations, you're not just part of the problem. You are the problem. I'm talking about the men who love to scream, innocent until proven guilty, but suddenly become silent when the system fails a literal child. The men who call rape victims liars when the case falls apart and the charges are dropped. Suddenly, the man being accused is a hero, a victim of cancel culture. Well, this time you guys are defending a predator. Because what's your excuse when a child like CweCwe gets raped? She wasn't dressed provocatively. Are you going to interrogate her story? Are you going to demand her to bring receipts? Are you going to accuse her of ruining another man's life? Suddenly, all your favorite talking points have evaporated. For an entire year, this child's case has been met with silence. Suddenly, all the men who come on this platform every day just to bash women have nothing to say. When it's a child, you guys go silent because you can't ask, what was she wearing? You can't accuse her of sleeping around. You can't blame feminism. Your silence now proves that you were never concerned about justice. And this upsets you because without your go-to talking points, you are exposed for what you truly are. Apologist. You just wanted an excuse to not believe women. You are only brave when the victim is an adult. If you need concrete evidence before you believe a rape victim, you failed as a human being. If you need CCTV and 3 witnesses just to say, I believe CweCwe, you're not a cautious person. You're protecting a predator. You're the exact kind of man predators feel comfortable around. Most survivors never report their assault because of people like you. CweCwe's case was ignored for more than a year, not because she was lying, but because society doesn't take victims seriously. You claim to care about false accusations while turning a blind eye to the real accusations, which make up the vast majority of cases. From this moment forward, there are no neutral parties. Either you stand with the victim or you stand with the abuser. The system is broken. CweCwe deserves better. All victims, regardless of their age, deserve better. And if that makes you uncomfortable, something is definitely wrong with you.
God, I keep having goosebumps. This story is so heavy. I really don't like doing stories like this, but it's something that has to be done because more awareness needs to go in there and more people. I'll try so hard. Like, I'm going to look for the petition and leave it down in the description box. So if you're in South Africa, please go ahead and sign the petition for justice for CweCwe. I don't want to pronounce the name because I can't pronounce CweCwe. Please go on and do that. Anyway, let me know what you think about this story, people's reaction to this story down in the comment section. But as always, please keep it respectful. You're on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a very respectful way. So go ahead, feel free, share your thoughts. So yes, some of the talking point here that people have already made is really valid. Like I didn't touch a couple of that in the first video. So I really do agree because this is happening to a 7-year-old child. And the fact that there are evidence, the fact that there's DNA and yet they can't get DNA samples to compare it with, it's really appalling that that happened to a child and yet nobody is actively doing anything to get closure of who did that to a child so that it does not happen to another child. And even the principal of the school, knowing now that he's a white South African, like that's also kind of, even they just switch things up for me. Like, okay, this is the time that all the male that's ever been around this child should be tested and compared with that DNA. But if the principal is holding it back and even the authorities are not, this just shows how complacent the entire system is against women, against children, that it doesn't serve them. And like I said in the first video, this is something that is very rampant. I know this happened in South Africa, but this also happened a lot too in Nigeria. And with that said, like I feel like it's happening in a lot, just that a lot of us don't get to have a platform or a ground to do it. It takes the mother to come online for this story to even be heard because nobody heard about the story. And this is one of the things I thank social media about for, because it just keeps going to push and make voice for the voiceless at this point. But this is something that is very rampant, common, that a lot of victims have buried their head and just try to move on from traumatic incident that has happened in their life, why the abuser will go ahead and walk freely. And whether you like it or not, I'll talk about Nigeria because that's what I know and that's where I was raised and that's where I live, is that male are being protected. No matter what they do, they are being protected. The system protects them. They tell you, oh, what are it like? They're just being protected generally. And this is happening to a child, which no child should even go through this. For an adult girl or an adult woman, they'll say, oh, what she's wearing is because what she's wearing, not knowing that an evil man, or not knowing, like, an evil person is an evil person. A dangerous man is a dangerous man. And it's clearly been seen that this is something that is very common. So, ladies, we have to be careful and protect ourselves and children. But that's the talking point, because most times they say, oh, when a girl is raped, oh, she asked for it. Why was she wearing provocative clothes? Why was she doing this? And we've had this conversation here. There was a video I did where the man was talking about why women should dress decently, because they keep talking about how men are gripping them and yet they expose themselves. This is a child that was in the safest place that she could be, which is at school, which most people think that's the safest place for children to be. And yet this kind of incident happened to her. You now see that it has nothing to do with what was she wearing, what she looks like, how did she talk back to the man, how did she respond to the advances at him. It just takes the man to be a man that felt that he has every right to put his hands on a woman, a child. That's just what it is. And as people and as collective, men, when I see these red pill podcasts, rather than them talking to themselves, they try to blame the women and say, oh, feminists, oh, men haters, they are the cause of all this. But not realizing that women are clocking how dangerous it is to even be around men. Because we also saw a news where men are on the Telegram group talking on how they SA the women in their life. This is something, and this type of men, you can imagine what they are doing out there to even children. And the fact that they have a lot of criminals in South Africa that work in the school system, in the educational system, that is very scary. Because why isn't even a criminal around a child? A child that's supposed to be raised and molded. Why is a criminal, somebody that's gone to jail, be there? So I just feel like, and this something too that will happen in Nigeria. I don't know the number of convicts that are in the system, but this is something that could easily fly in Nigeria too, and nobody's going to beat it. And I really pray that this young girl gets justice for whatever has happened. Like everything, they are able to find the person and even the principal. I just pray she gets justice from all this noise we're all making about it. I pray something comes out, something positive comes, because a lot of the time we keep saying that, okay, so if they arrest the person, what will happen? Which is something I hear a lot in my society. Okay, so if they take the person to jail, person go to jail, what happened? That it doesn't change what has happened. Do you know how the consolation that comes from knowing that there was justice for whatever happened, no matter how traumatizing it is? So please, guys, let's just be watchful. Let's look out for the children out there, especially the young girls out there, the young black girls. Because I feel like if this was to be a white South African child, it's going to be more amplified. But clearly, like I always say, Black women are the most disregarded people generally in the world. So please, let's sign the petition if you can. And yeah, let me know what you think about this story down in the comment section. Go ahead and share your thoughts. I really love to know what you guys think. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have amazing conversation. So go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this will help YouTube to push out the content for more people to see and get aware of this conversation. Okay, so go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you guys in my next video.